Hi, I'm Derek McGinty. I'm sitting alongside my good friend and fraternity brother, Steve Tillett, who is running for District 32 Senate seat in Maryland. So we are going to have a conversation about very important issues. And Steve, first of all, I guess people want to know why you want to be in the state Senate.
Right. Um, Fair question. I've been a pastor for 36 years and honestly hadn't thought about it. People have approached me a few times. Hey, you ever thought about running for office? How about this? You want to be, you ever think about running for county executive? No. I had not thought about it. And when we were younger men, I was thinking about a career in politics, maybe law school in politics. But then along the way, I had the opportunity to attend a young adult revival at my home church, the Asbury United Methodist Church in Washington, D.C. And one of our fraternity brothers, Bishop C. Anthony Muse, but also State Senator C. Anthony Muse from Prince George's County, was the preacher. That changed the trajectory of my life. And so I ended up doing something that I never saw in my own life, saw the possibility for my life. And I'm guessing when we were in our late teens and early 20s in college, you didn't see that as a possibility. So it surprised me as much as anyone else. But I've been a pastor for the last 36 years, and I never thought about it. But as I was sharing with you earlier, we had a conversation with one of our line brothers, late Congressman Donald McKeechin. And we were talking one day, he was in his office on the Hill, and we talked for about a half an hour. And usually you don't have that kind of time. But during the conversation, well, Steve, you need to run for something. You understand policy. You have a heart for serving people. You need to run for school board, county commission, something. And I told him, well, I have everybody's number in my phone. Anybody I need to reach, county executive, Congress, Senate, county council, whatever, if I need to apply some pressure, advocate for something, I can. And he said, yes, but you're not in the room. And that kind of stuck with me. And so fast forward to where we are now, sometimes people will say, well, somebody needs to say something. Somebody needs to do something. And it turns out that you might be that somebody. So at this stage of my career, with our country in the level of difficulty that it is in, and a lot of the proactive pushback that can come from the states at the state level, it made sense to come out of my level of safety and comfortability and go out here and walk around in the pollen several hours a day, going door to door. And for somebody with allergies, that's, but it is what it is. And then also because I believe that public service is supposed to be that we're serving the public. It's not for self-advancement. It's not for you to become a boss and a bully, because there's some people in these positions who get to those positions and then they look down on the people that they're supposed to serve and mistreat them and will bully them. I'll finish you. I'll call you and take your job, or have the company you work for close down, and all those kinds of things. That's not why you're there. That's not why people send you there. So for those reasons, for having a people-centered, people-oriented focus, I'm running for state senate. I am actually the second in my family to do it. When I declared my candidacy last November, I stated at that point that now 149 years after my great-grandfather declared in his run for state senate. My great-grandfather was born enslaved in 1850. In 1862, he threw up the deuces and self-emancipated. One of his uncles and his uncle's friend was leaving, and he left too. He ended up working for the New York Regiment, I think Company A, the New York Regiment, Civil War Union troops, got separated from the group and was in Baltimore, standing on a corner, distraught, didn't know what's going on. And a group of white women come up, say, what's going on? What's the problem? He tells them. One of the ladies says, that sounds like my son's company. I know where they are. Let's go see them. Because Civil War, you could go behind, the war lines, battle lines. You could see your loved one sometimes. She found out the story was true and told her son, I'm going to take him back to Pennsylvania with me and give him an education. And so he got an education. After the Civil War is over, he eventually returns to North Carolina. He reunites with his family and whatnot. And then eventually in 76 was elected to the state legislature in North Carolina as a state senator. And because he could read and a lot of folks couldn't, he was one of the people that helped them to read and write legislation, et cetera. So I've had kind of in our DNA, whether a lot of teachers and educators in the family, but then also people who are activists. His granddaughter, my father's older sister, protested against segregation in public accommodation here in Washington, D.C., pools and the like. And so, and just growing up in Washington, we're talking about politics all the time. So you're mindful of it. Mm. And it just seemed like, as somebody who, as the Bible would say, there was a tribe, the tribe of Issachar, that knew the times and the seasons, knowing the time and the season we're in and how much trouble we're in as a country, that it seemed necessary